Assalamualaikum and a very good day everybody. So today we are going to learn on the introduction to trade union. Let's look into the learning objective. This chapter aims to provide clear understanding on issues related to the trade union, which is based on the Trade Union Act 1959. The Trade Union Act sets out the rules and regulation for the trade union to comply. So at the end of this particular chapter, each and every one of you should be able to define a trade union, describe the objective, types, categories, and compositions of a trade union, identify the requirements to register a trade union, elaborate the effects of registration and deregistration, and finally, for you to be able to describe the duties, immunity, right, privileges, and powers of the trade union. So firstly, ladies and gentlemen, let's look into the definitions of a trade union. So part 1, section 2 of the TUA, it defines trade union as any association or combination of workmen or employees, being workmen whose place of work is in West Malaysia, Sabah or Sarawak as the case may be, or employers employing workmen in West Malaysia, Sabah or Sarawak as the case may be. Within any particular establishment, trade, occupation or industry, or within any similar trades, occupation or industries, and whether temporary or permanent, and having among its objects one or more of the following objects. Firstly, the regulations of relation between workmen and employees for the purposes of promoting good relations between workmen and employees, improving the working conditions of workmen or enhancing their economic and social status or increasing productivity. In relation to the first objective just now, it is also about to regulate the relation between workman and also the workman, or between the employers and also the employers. Okay, the second objects of a trade union can actually be to represent either workmen or employers in trade disputes, and relating to it, the conducting of or dealing with trade disputes and matters related thereto. Thirdly, the objective of the trade union can also be on the promoting or organizing or financing of strikes or lockout in any trade or industry, or the provisions of pay or other benefits for its members during a strike or a lockout. So here, ladies and gentlemen, based on the definition given earlier on, there are several implications of such a definitions. Firstly, a union does not need to be called union at all time. It can also be called as an association, particularly because where the members are professionals or senior officers. For instance, the Academic Staff Association or the associations of Maybank Class 1 officer. Besides that, all unions for the employees here in Malaysia are also labelled as the association. For an example, the Malayan Commercial Banks Association. Secondly, the implications of the definition earlier is the membership of the union is limited geographically. For instance, the trade union must be confined either in West Malaysia or Sabah, or Sarawak, which mean it cannot embrace Malaysia as a whole, right? So basically the examples are when the union is named, which is originated from the West Malaysia, there will be no bracket at the end. However, if the union is originated in Sabah or Sarawak, there will be a bracket at the end of the name of the trade union. Either it shows Sabah or Sarawak. Okay, so the third implication of the definition earlier on is the membership must be homogeneous in nature. They must work in a particular establishment, trade or occupation or industry. The fourth implications of the definition just now is the trade union must be an association or combination of either the employers or the employees. The fifth implication of the definition is the trade union must be confined to either the private sector or the public sector. And the last but not least implications of the earlier definition just now is that any organization or group of employers or employees established to achieve one or more of the objectives stated in the Act just now will be considered having formed a trade union and must therefore conform to all legislative requirements of a trade union. Pertaining to the trade union objective, now we know that the objective can actually be either legal, in which it is stated by Section 2 of the TUA 1959, or it can actually be listed in a general objective of one trade union. For instance, the rules and constitutions of the Electrical Industry Workers Union, in which they list down their objective being to promote the industrial, social, and intellectual interests of their members. Secondly, to obtain and maintain for its members just and proper rates of remuneration, security of employment, and reasonable hours and conditions of work. Thirdly, to promote the material, social, and educational welfare of the members. And finally, to promote legislation affecting the interests of the members in particular or trade unions in general. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will be all for this particular session. We'll be meeting you again in the next session. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a good day then. Bye for now.